Good morning. I'd like to call the Porte Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for January 20th, 2021 at 9 a.m. to order. If we could begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Chief Breton.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
to the
of
flag
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will be without member Romine today, so we do have a quorum with Mr. Kosher and myself. Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the minutes.
I will second that. Discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0. Tim Frankie, if you could keep track of any public comments.
Will do.
And because we are virtual, we will keep that open throughout the meeting, so that if there is any comments from the public, you'll have an opportunity to have your statement or question answered. Right now we have none. Clerk Treasurer Parthun.
Okay, claims. We've got payroll for January 8th, 2021 in the amount of $455,659.18.
I move we approve the payroll.
I will second that. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0.
We have special fire payroll for 1/15/21 for attendance. I can tell you it's part of the firefighters CBA. Those with perfect attendance get $700 each, and there were 7 firefighters with perfect attendance.
Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the special fire payroll.
Second? Discussion?
Ms. Parthun, so that's attendance just not calling off of work, or attendance at particular functions or events or schedule,
Not calling off of work, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So I do have a motion and a second. And any other discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0.
We have civil city claims in the amount of $1,044,525.15, which includes January health insurance, TIF-free bond payment, and then January trash service.
I move we approve the civil city claims.
I will second that. Discussion? All in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0.
We have water claims, which are $138,590.99. They include January bond transfers and January health insurance.
I move we approve the water claims.
I will second that. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And then finally, we have sewage claims in the amount of $187,814.20. This also includes January health insurance and January bond transfers.
I move we approve the sewage claims.
I will second that. Discussion? All in favor state by say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0. We will stay with the clerk treasurer with the 2021 OPEB actuarial evaluation.
I thought that was your favorite song. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
So we do have Baker Tilly assists us on other post-employment benefits reporting, as is required by the state of Indiana. Governmental Accounting Standards Board requires us to have an actuarial evaluation every 2 years. Our last evaluation was in 2019, and this is also required for our annual financial report, which is due at the end of February. So I'm asking board approval to move forward on the NIHART agreement, service agreement for an actuarial evaluation.
Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the actuarial evaluation agreement.
I will second that. Discussion?
No?
Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0.
And then also we have an engagement letter from Baird for the remediation financing. Baird will be helping us with bond placement or underwriting versus going on the open market. So I'm asking for board approval for the placement agent engagement service agreement.
Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the Baird engagement.
I will second that. Discussion. And again, just to confirm, if Baird can't supply any info or anything for us, they receive no revenue.
Correct.
And this is the purpose of going about it this way is to keep the bond costs low, correct?
Yes. So since this is a lower bonding amount, we've just got more flexibility. We can do other things other than just going on the market. So this is just another way for us to, save a little bit of money and speed the process up a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
I do have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. I'm sorry. I support.
That 1-1?
Opposed? Motion passes 2-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Treasurer Barthune. With that, I'll move to department heads. And for brief, to the point, most important updates, Mike Frey's Street Department.
Right now we're out plowing, and there's gonna be a couple times this week. It looks like we're gonna have more snow, and plus then we'll get back on brush, picking up brush around town.
From the storm?
Yeah,
How close are we on the storm?
we've made one round, and we're gonna start our second round.
That'll be this week
Yeah,
if the
When it
snow's
goes
getting
out.
out of the way. And again, just to remind everybody, you're plowing when the snow hits at 3 a.m., making sure roads to work are being taken care of. I just want to remind everybody, it's not like you start at 8 a.m.
right. We start at 3 most of the times, and if it needs earlier, we come out earlier.
Great. Jeff Batchelor, Code.
Good morning. Been working on vacant properties, and I got a list from the police department of the number of calls for service from numerous properties. So we're looking at naming some chronic nuisance properties too.
That have multiple police calls.
Yeah, multiple. Most of them have been over 15 to 20.
I mean, just think about that. 15 to 20 calls for service from the police. People clearly don't want to be in our community and follow the rules. So we do support that. Tim Warner, Water.
Good morning. Late last week, I met with Todd Taylor in Peerless Midwest to start the discussion of our new well field. Other than that, we're still working through our SCADA updates. Hopefully later this week, we'll be going online with our new radios. That'd be a definite plus for us. And other than that, we're just out there beating the street. We got another main break this morning on Kosciuszko. The guys are working on. We're getting into that time of year where the ground's starting to move, so they're going to become a little more frequent for us. That's all I have this morning, Mayor.
Tim, do you know if that water break is due to old infrastructure?
We've had several breaks on that line. Like I said, it's on Kosciuszko that goes from Clear Lake Boulevard to McClung Road. It's only about a block stretch right there. the groundwater is really heavy in there, so that plays a factor on it. A lot of clay that moves around, it's hard digging. So I would tend to believe it's more ground conditions than anything, Mayor.
Well, I just want to add, because you've had close to 40 either main breaks or service line repairs due to the old infrastructure. And when people say about the increased cost for water and sewer that we've talked about, this is the reason, because you've had 40, our community's had 40 main breaks or service line repairs to 100-year-old infrastructure that cannot be ignored.
Yes, sir, for sure. That's why the water department's excited about moving forward with a lot of projects this year to start addressing some of those issues. It's going to be a busy year for us, and we're ready and excited about it.
Beth West, Transport.
Good morning. Transport's basically just working on their year-end quarter reports. We are training a new driver, so we should be fully staffed right now. Interesting thing we found out while doing the reports is we had 0 vehicle accidents last year. We traveled over 100,000 miles in town, and we've helped transport 29,000 residents of LaPorte, even during COVID.
That's amazing. Great work, Beth, to the team. Chief Breton, Police Department.
Just keep it brief. We're monitoring the courthouse. Been in contact with the sheriff's department for any possible protests today with the inauguration. So far, there's nothing credible. I know that there's heavy security at all the federal courthouses as well. Other than that, we're moving forward with looking for 3 to hire. Mayor Commission looking to have another agility test here soon.
Great. And I'd also like to give thanks out to Victor Aguilar for solving the crime at Lucky's Bar with the attempted murder. And again, as Jeff Batchelor and you have talked about, as I fully support, that's unacceptable behavior on Lincoln Way. And we can't continue to ignore that. The community can't continue to ignore it. And again, residents should feel safe when they're going out. And I don't see how that continues in the future at that location.
Right, they've stepped up their efforts, and that was outstanding work by Sergeant Aguilar. I mean, he stayed on this thing, and he had a warrant in hand within a few days.
Great. Tom Casey, Planning.
Thank you, Mayor. We got a couple things going. UEA meeting tonight. Mary Ann and I have a focus group Zoom meeting with the residents surrounding Tidmouth Bakery to get their input on new development there. So that should be pretty interesting. We've got Healthcare Foundation presentation on the Heart of LaPorte, which is next Wednesday. We're preparing for that, as well as the Healthcare Foundation grants for Cycle 1. And lastly, continuing to work with Jen on the website branding program. Thank you.
Jeff or Jen?
Jess.
Okay, good. Bert Cook, LEAP.
Good morning, Mayor. Good morning to the Board of Public Works. Just one brief update today. We have our LaPorte Young Professionals Group, which will be hosting their first event this Thursday. It's virtual. The topic is how to be a good board member. That would be open and free to anyone who would like to attend. You can register by visiting our website at www.laportepartnership.com. All the info to sign up is there, and I would love for anyone who is interested to attend that event. Thank you.
Jerry Jackson, Sewer.
The Lakeside project is proceeding. Selge is doing a good job. They obviously know what they're doing, and they've been helpful, when little hitches come up. So that's going well. We have a progress meeting this afternoon. Last week, the ice was pushed on our manholes, and we were having a difficult time keeping up with the volume of lake water leaking into that sewer we're eliminating. So it really pointed out the need for the project. My crew is very happy it's going on. I think that's all I got.
Great. Nick Minnick, Engineering.
I did have one item that didn't make it on the agenda, but thought I'd bring it up. we have a project we're issuing a building permit for at 901 Michigan. This is for replacement of some mechanical equipment on top of the YMCA building. They're going to have a crane and they're planning to have that on Maple. So they were going to close Maple for about half a day on February 2nd. A lot of times when it's incidental to something like mechanical, we don't necessarily do a use permit, but I did want to bring it to the Board of Works and see if there were any concerns with a kind of incidental closure of Maple for some mechanical equipment replacement at the YMCA. Again, that's February 2nd.
Nick, let's add that to your list there after the Truesdale bid opening or decision.
Okay, no problem. And that's all I had for this morning.
Jen Knoll, Human Resources.
We are going to be welcoming a new hire tomorrow in the engineering department. An engineering technician will be starting tomorrow, so looking forward to having him join the team.
That's great. Mark Schreiber, Park Department.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. Just a couple announcements. We have started our youth sports signups. That's for baseball, girls fast pitch softball, slow pitch softball, tennis, and for t-ball. We're not doing our registration nights as we have in past years due to COVID restrictions at the Civic. There are 3 ways people can register. They can register online through League Lineup, and that link is available on our Facebook page and on our website. They can do it by phone at 326-9600 with credit card, or they can come to the park office, which is open now for registrations from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. We urge people to get registered as soon as possible. And then also we have our Winterfest coming up on January 30th and 31st. It's pared down this year because of COVID restrictions, but we have 5 really great events. Family fun, crafts, bike ride, scavenger hunt, and a snowman contest. So a lot of good fun, and all that information can be found on our Facebook page or our city website. Thank you.
That's great. Well, Mr. Kosher, Mr. Cook, and Mr. Breton, they were all asking about the Polar Plunge to start that weekend and didn't know what time that was for them.
Yeah, it's at noon for them. They tell them to be there sharp at noon, and we'll have our cameras ready.
I love it.
Excellent. Cold therapy.
Jess Bruder, Communications.
Good morning, Mayor. Like Tom said, we are beginning the process for the website upgrades. I'm really excited to get the ball rolling on that. Also excited to share that we've had some more interest in the apparel. Residents can now purchase the Live in the Lake Life t-shirts at Hotspot Cafe as well as Cablin's. Cablin's also has expressed some interest in making some of their own items for sale, which we can discuss more when we get to the licensing agreement further on in the agenda. And then finally, just want to announce that we're going to be doing a virtual town hall with all department heads on February 10th at 6 p.m. That'll be a good opportunity for residents to tune in and be able to ask various department heads questions and hear what their goals are for 2021. And that's all from me.
And I just want to add that while the website is so important, we know it needs to be upgraded. I've made the decision to take longer time to develop it because Jess Bruder only has so many hours in the day, and communication is still her key job here. And so the website will take longer based on my decision. We just don't have the time and manpower to do all that's needed right up front. So any issues with the delays or stretching that out has been made by me. So with that, I think that covers everybody. Those that do not have business with Board of Works this morning can go ahead and enjoy their day, get to their day. Thank you. So Board of Works appointment to the Newport Landing Development or Redevelopment Corporation. This is an appointment, a one-year appointment, and has been Carol Ficus for the last 4 years because it's in her ward, and it's good to have a council person on this. So with that, may I have a motion to approve?
I move we approve Carol Ficus as the representative.
I will second that. Discussion. All in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, or aye. Opposed, 2-0. Jerry Jackson, basement backup reimbursement.
We had a sewer blockage on Pennsylvania Avenue. The sewer backed into the basement at 810 Pennsylvania and caused damage. Generally, when there's a damage due to a sewer blockage, we cover those costs. If there's a backup due to a rain event, then we do not. That's a large rain event and an act of God. For that sort of event, we say, hey, here's our grant process to go through. The amount of it was fairly large because they had a lot of stuff on the floor. I'm trying to find the total here. I've got the itemized, but I can't find the total.
It looks to be under $2,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, where did the total go?
It's definitely over 1,000.
Not on my paperwork. I guess I can add it up. I'm embarrassed here.
Well,
yeah,
we're talking, Courtney, do you have this in front of you?
I do, and I'm adding it up right now.
Thank you, Courtney.
Gary, while we have a quick second, you and I spoke before the meeting, but also the grant program, would that have stopped this?
It would, because it isolates the basement from the sewer. So the plumbing code now requires that you have a device to isolate your basement from the sewer. So some of these old houses don't meet the current plumbing code, and were they in the grant program, it would have isolated them. They would not have had the problem.
So will they apply for the grant as well?
I'll have that conversation with them.
Great.
So what? So then I guess. So this seems this is unique, right? In that we're being asked to reimburse these folks for the damage.
We'll have on generally single-digit number of sewer blockages a year. 6 is my average, and we try to minimize that. We track it and try to minimize it. There are once or twice a year maybe we'll have damage to a house to stuff in the basement. Oftentimes it's minimal and they don't even submit, but this sort of thing does happen infrequently.
Okay, so basically so in these situations, it's not the owner's fault. It's really more of the kind of almost really the city's fault for not having those devices there everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's how we've gotten to this. It's a blockage in the sewer main.
Okay.
Okay. We call it our frequent flyer list. We have a list of problematic sewers that we send the crew around more frequently. This one's not on it. Other than that, we have a clockwise orientation where we go around the city with the vac truck and clean sewers. And generally, as long as we're up on that, we don't have these problems. Roots and wipes are usually the cause of these blockages.
Courtney, do we have a total?
Yes, it's $2,652.65.
2,600.
52.65.
So I do have a motion.
Do we have a motion?
Do I have a motion?
I'll move we approve the reimbursement for the Pennsylvania backup.
I will second that. Further discussion.
Well, I'm just kind of thinking through this just conceptually. How do we in these situations, so this home will be a part of the grant program. Now the grant program seems like it limits the city's liability to some degree, but these instances like this, it seems like there could potentially be almost no limit, right? When someone could reimburse for some, well, just there's all kinds of examples we could pull up, right? But So how do we sort of protect the city from kind of what could be an unlimited liability on something like this?
It's a difficult question. What, you know, our deductible is $5,000. We can go to the insurance company, you know, when you start getting in those sort of numbers. But yeah, that's a large, you know, a blockage like a cave-in in a large interceptor could potentially affect quite a few houses. In this case, the owner had a problem and contacted us before it affected anyone else. But that's a good point. We could potentially have pretty large numbers.
So we're limited. We've got the deductible that this could be an insurance, but of course, I'm sure with an amount, you know, we're obviously not challenging that deductible as far as the amount. So, is there anything you think that we could do? I mean, in the future, I'm just thinking through how we could try to limit these, not only just to limit the reimbursement and the cost of the city, but obviously to limit the damage to the homeowners.
Well, we need to clean sewers well and efficiently to limit these kind of events. As far as for, you know, the basement backup program eliminates a lot of these because they have problems during a storm, and we, you know, get that done. Same places you'd have problems in the storm are the same places you'd have problems with a sewer blockage. So if we do a good job promoting the basement backup program and do a good job cleaning sewers, that should help limit this sort of cost. As far as topping out on the liability, maybe that's a question for the insurance company. I'm not sure how to manage that one.
Well, and I think Mark and Jerry and I had conversation about this, just watching to make sure we don't have an overflow of business or residential complaints. And so far, history has shown that it's very limited, very small. We do have to continue to show the backup program, but because this is our fault, I think it's our responsibility. But we do have to monitor how often this is happening.
All right. Well, thank you for going through all that.
Quite all right. It's a difficult situation.
So I do have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0. Phase 2, Phase 3, Lakeside Sewer Relocation Project.
The Board of Works approved Phase 1 of the project on several meetings back, and did not approve Phase 2 and Phase 3 because we lacked funding. This was before we did the rate work and did and issued bonds. I got those Phase 2 and Phase 3 into our rate work and into the bond. So now those two phases are funded through our bonds. So I'd ask the Board of Works to approve Phase 2 and Phase 3. Phase 2 is the area along Closser and Waverly Road, right there at Lakeside or adjacent to Pine Lake. The cost of Phase 2 is $438,014.10. Phase 3 picks up 2 houses and potentially 3 more on Robert Street where there isn't sanitary sewer available. The amount of that is $117,472. So as we're now funded, I'd ask the board to approve Phase 2 and Phase 3.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I move we approve Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the relocation project.
I will second that. And Jerry, for the residents, what does this mean, continuing this project?
We're eliminating connections to that sewer that's underneath the lake, and we're also eliminating septic systems. Several of those homes along Waverly have septic systems, 3 or 4 that are right there adjacent to Pine Lake and adjacent to the wetlands. So we're getting rid of those. And one gentleman there who's lived there a very long time said that he requested sewer service 4 mayors back, was the quote. And so he's very pleased this project's coming along.
Great. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0. Hauled wastewater discharge permit renewals.
These are renewals of existing haulers that haul septage, primarily septage, some organic wastewater from industry also, but primarily septage. They're all good. They're all good customers of ours: Southern Excavation, Delta Industrial, D&M Excavating, Johnson Johnson Septic, K-Flex, and Jagged Truck. They're all good customers, and I'd recommend we renew their permits, their discharge permits.
Do I have a motion to approve all as one?
Move we approve all of these discharge permits.
I will second that. Discussion? How do you know that they're good, Jerry? What type of testing or approval process do we do?
We periodically grab samples just to make sure things are kosher. Lots of times, if these are all businesses we know and have not caused us problems, the worrisome part of getting trucked waste is having a company go and pull some industrial waste that they can't dispose of elsewhere and bring it to us. So it's nice to have companies that you know and trust bringing to you, because there is some liability there. We through this permit, if you read through the permit, we try to put all that liability for potential cleanup back on the septic hauler, but that would be a messy situation. So they just have a good track record, I guess.
Literally a messy situation.
Literally.
Any further discussion?
I just wanted to kind of add that given those comments, it's good to hear that these businesses are abiding by the guidelines, the regulations, and what we expect from them, and that they're good corporate citizens.
Absolutely.
Hearing no further discussion, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Jen Knoll, updated family first Coronavirus Response Act extension.
Good morning. So lawmakers decided not to extend the FFCRA regulations, but gave us the option to continue with the paid leave through March 31st of 2021. So the city is requesting that Board of Works approve the extension of this policy through March 31st of 2021 for our employees, and also make it retroactive to January 1st of 2021.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I move we approve I guess we call it just the extension of the Families First Coronavirus Response Act.
Yes.
I will second that. Jen, and again, we're not giving additional dollars or service days, correct? This is just if they haven't used their time.
Correct.
They can extend it through March.
Exactly.
Further discussion?
I would just add, because I think there's been in some other organizations a lot of confusion in and around this, and some I think people suspect that maybe that we may have canceled this, but it's not. It was that's the way it was written into law, and that's the way it is. So it basically ended on the 31st. So we're adding those benefits, or not adding, I should say, like you said, Mr. Mayor, we are extending this benefit.
Exactly.
Any further discussion? All in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0. Communicable disease policy update.
Yep. So this is yet another update to our communicable disease policy in reference to the COVID pandemic. With the COVID-19 vaccine now available, and many of our police and fire having received the vaccine, we have added language in there about essentially, based on the latest developments, both vaccines offered in the U.S. Requires 2 doses and a wait time of 7 to 14 days for a body to build immunity. So an employee who receives both doses of the vaccine and provides proof to HR will be exempt from the quarantine, isolation, and negative test requirements 14 days after the date of the second dose. So we added that language in there for those employees who have received the vaccine. So asking for your approval to move forward with the change.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second that. Discussion?
Ms. Snow, just thanks for staying on top of this. Obviously, constantly evolving landscape.
Yeah, thank you.
Jen has led the charge for all of us and has really done a great job of staying on top of this because it changes as much daily. So great work. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0. Thank you, Jen. Nick Minnick, recommendation of Truesdale Lift Station and Sewer Extension bid.
We opened bids for the Truesdale Lift Station last Friday. We received 8 bids, which is substantially more than we usually receive, which was very, very good. We've reviewed those bids as well as our engineer, Evan Marsh, has reviewed those also. H&G Underground was the lowest, most responsive, and most responsible bidder. Their bid was in the amount of $396,094.61. We're still getting used to the responsible bidder ordinance and trying to kind of make sure that it's as clear as possible. There were a couple items that were not necessarily as clear in our package that we would want a condition of award, and that would be for them to provide information regarding the requirements of the responsible bidder or ordinance. And then also, we did not include our normal contractor certification for investment activity in Iran, and we'd also ask that be part of the award, that they have to submit both documentation for both of those items. But I would recommend award to H&G Underground Utilities for Truesdale Lift Station in the amount of $396,094.61.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I move we approve the bid for what was it? H&G Underground Utilities. Yes.
I will second that. It's good to see a local business get this work. This RBO neglecting or forgetting this information legally, we're still in good position. Not to put Anthony Novak on the spot here, substituting for Mr. Otis, but I assume these are things that still keep us legal in the RBO process.
Correct. Yeah, you're fine to go with this.
Okay. Further discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Novak, because that's really, obviously we're trying to do the right thing here in this, and there's the spirit of the ordinance and the letter of the ordinance, and kind of what you're saying is basically like in doing this, we're really we're complying with both the spirit and the letter, right? Even though it's not spelled out as clearly as it could be.
Correct, and you can give approval contingent on certain things being remedied, and that's essentially what Mr. Minnick's accomplishing here.
Okay. Can I amend my motion to include a remedy for this?
You may.
Okay. And I think when I read through this, it was obviously, again, we're trying to do the right thing here, but it is because of the confusion in and around the different types of compliance aspects of it. Just want to make sure that we, again, take another step to try to minimize this happening again.
So how would you like to amend your motion?
Well, I'd like to amend it to say, I move we approve the H&G Underground Utilities bid for this project. And let me see. Gosh, Mr. Novak, could you help me with the wording here? I'm just trying to think like.
Sure, it could be an approval contingent on, the bidder supplying the additional information, requested by Nick. And if you want Nick to specifically state that, he can. But simply a motion to approve contingent on correcting the
Okay. So contingent upon correcting just this information, and that it then it also meets both engineering and legal requirements. How's that?
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure it's corrected because there wasn't a problem submitting additional required information by the engineer.
Yes, that's the wording. Submitting additional information required by the engineer, and that it meets legal and engineering review. Okay.
I will.
Thanks for all that. Yeah.
I will second that. Further discussion?
Well, just a comment that I think this is the first time that I've looked at a spreadsheet where I needed my reading glasses and a magnifying glass.
I learned what items I had on my phone to do the same. So Nick is just taking shots at us as we're older, and he's getting quite humor watching us try to.
So many bidders. We can't. So many bidders.
I do. That's great news. That's great news.
It's a very good thing.
People want to do work in the city of LaPorte. So with that,
thanks, Mr. Novak, for the wording help.
Certainly.
I do have a motion, an amended motion, and a second. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0. And again, Nick, while we have you, let's talk about the YMCA situation, if you don't mind re-explaining what the scenario is.
Yeah, so a lot of times when we issue a building permit, there might be some small incidental closure of streets for delivery of equipment or things like that. We have one that's going to be kind of on the line of incidental and maybe needing a use permit. So I just wanted to bring it to the Board of Works, and that would be the YMCA replacing mechanical equipment on their roof, and that requiring Maple Street to be closed from approximately 7 till they thought about noon or 1, and they're looking at doing that on February 2nd. Again, we're issuing through the building department a permit for this, and we can include this street closure in that permit if that's what the board would like to do. If you'd like a separate use permit, we can go that route. But again, a lot of times with this type of thing, we see it as kind of incidental, and I just wanted to make sure the board was aware, and if you had any issues, we could, like I said, go through the use permit process. The use permit basically requires the same information we require for a building permit. So they have to provide a bond and insurance and kind of do the same things. But again, I wanted to bring it to your attention.
So Nick, are you asking for a motion for approval of street closure? Would that help?
Yep, that would help.
Mr. Kocher, are you comfortable with that?
I am. Yep, makes sense.
I am. If you make a motion then.
I move we approve the street closure as per Mr. Minnick's recommendation.
And I will second that for February 2nd from approximately 7 a.m. till 12 p.m. And any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Mary Ann Richards, approval of CDBG contract for demo at 603 Tipton Street.
I'm on Tom Casey's computer due to technical difficulties on mine. Just have a contract that I need approved by the board to do demolition of 603 Tipton, and the contract is in the amount of $45,200. And the contract was open and awarded on December 2nd.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I move we approve the contract.
I will second that. Discussion. And was this the one where it's a little more, a few more dollars because they have to be careful how they're demoing this with the house?
Right. It's very close to the house next door. Plus, it's a large brick house, so it will take a little bit more effort to get it down. Pavey already has a contract for 104 Grove, which is right next door to this house on the north side. So he's going to take both houses down at the same time. Just
I
as
love how we're setting the standard of housing and not letting these dumps sit there in our community and cleaning it up. So thank you. Do I have a motion?
Yes, yep, we do have a motion.
I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0. Thank you, Mary Ann. And by the way, Mary Ann, when will that be done? Will that begin at what point?
I'll probably get a hold of Mike Pavey after the meeting, have him come down and sign contracts and notices to proceed. So it should start this week.
Oh, great. Weather is not an issue.
No.
Perfect. Thank you. Jess Bruder, making things happen in the city of LaPorte with licensing, Cablin's.
Yep. I have a retail product license agreement that I'm seeking approval of from the Board of Works. This agreement is with Cablin's Ace Hardware. They, in addition to selling the t-shirts that are made by our other vendor, Reprographic Arts, they would like to have some of their own stuff printed to sell in their stores. I got to look through the catalog yesterday. Nothing's been finalized, but these items may include magnets, keychains, stickers, drinkware, and tote bags. The city will still be giving approval on all items and does reserve the right to, control the type of item as well as colors, so that we are staying consistent with the brand. But really think this is a good opportunity for us to continue branching out and raising brand awareness. So,
do I have a motion to approve?
When will we approve the product licensing agreement?
I will second that, and I assume drinkware means Yeti coolers that we could be adding the logo to.
Yep, Yeti for sure. They'll be able to engrave on those. So.
Well, I'm excited that Caton's is a partner on this, the local company really promoting the good in the city. So great news.
Yeah, I agree, and we've had several things sort of printed and engraved and inscribed there. So the only question I had on this was, and really appreciate the fact that they're interested in promoting the logo and the brand. So the agreement is a flat payment, right?
That's correct. A one-time fee of $350 for the year.
Is there any reason why we go with a flat payment versus some sort of a percentage or like a tiered type of thing? I know percentages can be very difficult to track and work with, but I mean, is there any reason why we did that with just a flat fee?
Yeah, so that's kind of the reason we went that route. And Nick Otis would be able to kind of attest to this as well, because we work together on this pretty closely. Basically just wanted to kind of make it easier for the vendor so that we're not discouraging vendors, because we wouldn't be able to track that. It would be up to the vendor who is selling to keep track of the percentages. So it just makes it easier for them. And as well, our goal is creating a solid brand identity. We just want to make it easy as possible for people who are interested and want to work with us to work with us.
And Mark, that was probably my decision as well as anybody. We had to keep it simple. Jess, has a ton of work to do, and we didn't want her to become an accountant, to have to track tiers, percentages. We've been through all that, and we just thought this would be the simple way. Not that we don't want to make money, but the more important goal is to distribute the new trademark, the new logo throughout the community.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's great that Cablin's is interested in doing that. They've obviously been a community partner as long as I can remember.
So I do have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0. Thank you, Jess. So while we move on here, Mr. Tom DeLorme is on our meeting today, And Tim Frankie, and by the way, hello to Delormes. They love what's happening in the city of LaPorte, so great to see them at this meeting as well. Tim, do we have a question? I'm not sure. I see a minimum cost for what is needed to be done.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a while ago when Nick Minnick was speaking. Not sure if that's a question or a comment. I believe it may be a comment. Let's see. Mr. Delorme also said that he and his wife got zip-up hoodies, and they love them.
Hey, great news. And you can see them either kayaking or biking in the city, so they're out and about normally, especially in the summer. Any other comments there from social media, Facebook?
No, sir.
Thank you. So then with other business, and Mr. Kosher, you'll appreciate this because you're also giving of your time on the school board in LaPorte, but this month in January is National Mentoring Month. I know Courtney mentors. We have quite a few people that do mentor the youth and within the school system, and just kind of a point, young people who face risk factors but who have a mentor are 55% more likely to be enrolled in college than those who did not have a mentor, and 78% more likely to volunteer regularly in their communities, and more than twice as likely to say they held a leadership position in a club or sports team. And we are fortunate that we have Julie Sinclair and formerly Bert Sappenfield, who their passion and love for the kids in our school system and make a difference in their life with the Slicer Champion mentoring program. Tim Frankie, I know, is a mentor as well. And Mark, I know you see a lot of this at the school system. It's a great program making a difference for those kids that need a little help.
I can agree with you more, Mr. Mayor.
So keep in mind, if there's an opportunity to mentor, contact the school system. I know it's tough during COVID, but National Mentoring Month, help a youngster that you can make a difference in their life is a great thing.
Good.
So
Importantly, Mayor, you know what? Some of those kids are in times such as these regarding COVID and the difficulty in getting together. They're the ones that may need it most.
Absolutely. So with that, any other unfinished business, or do I have a motion to adjourn?
Just a reminder that even though my video wasn't working, I am wearing a collared shirt out of respect for Mr. Mayor and the board. So just FYI, I was hoping to show it, but you know.
Well, we were more to see how long your hair has grown since the last meeting. So sorry that we weren't able to adjust that. I know Amanda Haverstick is on. Any questions from the media while we have you?
Oh, all good.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I will second that. Everybody have a great day. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Take care.